What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of NAS100 analysis today. If this is your first time stumbling across this video, welcome to the channel. It's an exciting channel. We talk about the NAS, potential moves I plan on making. Obviously, it is recommended, highly recommended, that you do your own research, you check the work that I'm putting out, okay, and you make sure it makes sense. So if you do decide that you are going to obviously make trades based on what you're watching, I strongly recommend you do your own research to make sure it makes sense, because I do make mistakes, right? I am good at what I do, but I do make mistakes, and obviously I wouldn't want you just to copy my work and assuming that I'm right all the time, and then it goes wrong and naturally you blame me for it. So I say this, right? I do make mistakes, and it's super important you do your own research before you do anything based on what it is that you're going to be watching right now. Okay, and obviously if you are an existing subscriber, an existing pip tonight, still following along, guys, I definitely appreciate you. Welcome back. This video is going to be super awesome in terms of what we're going to be talking about and how we may potentially benefit from it all. And once again, just like you see in the description at the beginning of the video, I will say it again, I am not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. This is purely how I navigate the markets, and you may find some gems that you can obviously use to benefit yourself, all right, okay, but it is important you do your own homework to make sure it all makes sense before you do so. I am not encouraging anyone to copy what you're watching here today, all right? Okay, so with all of that all covered, right, guys, I hope you're having an awesome day. I hope you've been collecting quite a lot of pips and points in the markets, right? And okay, so now that I'm done with all of that, let's get straight into it. Okay, last week I took a trade, right? So last week I was in a trade, and then that trade was going the way that I wanted it to go. Okay, so then on Monday I added more to my trade. So on Monday I added another position right here, right? So where was the 19th? Okay, 19th right here, boom. Right, so I added another position right here, so I got it just under, because I literally thought, let me zoom in, right, so it kind of makes sense what I'm about to say now. Right, so this order that I put in at this location, which was a sell, right, I literally thought when I was seeing these wicks over here, okay, that there was a good chance it was going to break. I actually entered on this green one right here, right at the top of this little green one right here, right? So I thought it was going to start to break down, and then obviously then push back up again, and then it pushed up, then it pushed up again. So I got a little bit worried because of where it was in comparison to the overall structure. It literally was at the bottom. So I was a little bit worried, right? But it didn't go up too high, and then it started to break all the way down, which was fantastic. Okay, so naturally what I did was I moved my my stop loss, which was up here, right? I moved that and I brought it up to this level, okay? So I had all these gains in already, okay? And then I had the new trade up here, right? And basically I had covered the risk. So the risk of this trade was in the profits of this trade right here, okay? So what I did was obviously it continued doing this awesome thing, which was fantastic, okay? So then on Tuesday, I saw price kind of pushing all the way up here again. So he pushed up here to about this level, right? And I literally got it at the top. So that was a good entry, the one I got on Tuesday. So that was a really good entry, right? That was the best entry so far in the trades I've been putting in so far. So that was this move. I covered this area up here, and then I moved my trailing stop to about this level, okay? So I had two trades secured with profits due to the trailing stop, right? And then I had this trade up here, and this trade was going really well. It was going really well until something crazy happened, which was this wick came up, right? So this wick came up, and at this point I had already moved, I had already adjusted my trailing stop. So sometimes I say, okay, I'm going to put the trailing stop here and I'm going to leave it, and then I look at it and then I end up readjusting it, and then what happens is it doesn't go my way. But I'm glad I did that, right? Because I would have lost a lot more had I not done that. So had I not made that move, I would have lost a lot more. So literally, so I got shaken out of the trade on yesterday. So I got shaken out of the trade. It came up and then it took me out, which was fine, cool, right? So then today, obviously I saw prices up here. It was winding down, so I'll just show you what I was looking at. So I was seeing this little flat top over here. Okay, actually, let me get something else that's going to be a little bit nicer. So let's use this, right? So I saw this little flat top over here, right? This little flat top over here. So I was like, ooh, it's about to break. It's about to break. So what I did was I went back in again and I stuck in another sell, right? And guys, we can all see what happened. And literally, I manually closed myself out of that position. So I jumped in with a sell over here. Then this wick, obviously it's green, so it's meant to be obviously falling downwards, but literally it was pushing up. So it was going up a bit, right? And then I looked at it and I was like, you know what, there's a good chance I probably could have got this wrong, because I jumped on a day, right? I jumped on a 4 hour and I had a strong momentum pushing upwards, so it was looking like it was really wanted to go up. It was going to bounce from the level where it was at. I think a day will give a better description. Okay, yeah, there it is, right? So we've seen a falling star or a rising star, whichever the name of this candle is. My apologies, I do get the names of the candles a bit all mixed up because I know what it is when I'm looking at it, but in terms of the names for every single one, sorry, like, we're gonna make mistakes here, right? So literally, so I saw this one, I'm ready in a trade, it's pushing up, and I'm like, you know what, there's a good chance it's going to go up and I am about to be closed out. So I jumped out of that trade. So I took a loss on that trade there, and I took a small loss in the trade yesterday, but the overall trades that I had basically made me profitable. Even the trade that I've lost today, I'm still profitable, okay, because it did not eat too much into the overall profits, because the profit that I gained was actually quite decent, right? So that's that done in terms of the moves that I've made this week. So now we're going to talk about where we think price is going to go. So let's get rid of all of these, right, because they're no longer relevant. So let's get rid of all of these. Get rid of all of these. Okay. All right. So in the last video, let me zoom out again. Okay. Zoom out again. Okay, so in the last video, right, the video that I did on Sunday, I talked about this move, right, where it's going to go up and come down and then go up and then come down and then go up and come down. And obviously the opposites happen. So what's basically happened is it's done that and then it's doing that and then it's done that. Okay, now what's really important about what we're seeing over here, so if I get rid of all of this, what is really important about what we're seeing in this location right now is where this closes. Okay, so we're just going to zoom back in again, just get a much better look. It's where this particular candle, or not this particular candle, this particular structure, where it closes. Is it going to close above these over here? Okay, I have a feeling it is going to close above these over here, because this was the consumer report. What was it again? Let me just go back to it. So the CB consumer confidence, this was this push to the upside that I thought was going to fall, but it didn't fall, so it went up instead, right? So that is that right here. Okay, and now we're waiting to see what is going to happen in this location over here. At the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to close above these candles over here. It could do, but if it doesn't, all right, then it's fair to assume that we're going to get a stronger push to the downside for tomorrow, and then it will do what it needs to do up until Friday, and then it may start to obviously pull back up again. But as I can see from what I'm looking at right now, market is definitely following along in what I think is going to go. It's not going exactly like how I think it's going to go, but it's more or less headed in that direction. The only thing that's going to void that overall analysis that I did is if we get price closing above this structure, I mean above these candles over here. If it closes above these candles over here, then it's fair to assume that price is going to be pushing up, and this overall structure that we got here, okay, I may need to widen it. I may need to widen it because obviously it's produced another low and it's more or less still within it. So sometimes when I'm actually drawing out these structures, when I first started drawing out these structures, in all honesty, I kept it pretty precise in terms of if this is what I've drawn, right, and market goes a little bit underneath it, I still stick to this particular structure as it is. But what I now tend to do is I will adjust it to accommodate everything else that's going on in this structure, just to make it as accurate as possible, right? So just because I drew it doesn't mean to say that this is it. So if I look at it from this point of view now, it actually makes a lot of sense. It actually makes a lot of sense in terms of what it is that we're seeing, and that is still within the overall structure as it is. Okay, we still have a very good level over here that if it goes to and bounces from, then we know that there's a good chance this overall structure right here will be getting broken. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make these red, right? I'm going to make this red so I know that this is a serious structure that we're talking about here, and this is one that if it does break, there could be a lot of pips and points for us to gain. So get rid of this because this is no longer relevant, right? So as it stands, this is what I'll be saying, right? This is what I'm saying. I'm expecting a pullback from this level, right? So I'm going to keep it super brief. I'm expecting a pullback from this level, from around this level where it is right now, to come back down to the trend line. That is what I think is going to happen, because it's yet to close above these candles over here, right? And I don't think it's going to do that tonight, but it could do that tonight. So if it does, then obviously then we need to readjust and reassess the overall situation. All right, so in a nutshell, okay, if price decides it's going to start to push back up from where it is and head back up, we're going to measure out this zone so we know exactly how much pips is in it for us. So we're just going to measure from this zone right here all the way to where price is currently sitting at. So price is right here right now. Okay, so we're looking at roughly about 900 pips, right? So 978 pips is what we're looking at, which is fantastic. So depending on what kind of lot size you have, it could be very, very, very rewarding indeed if it does bounce from this level and heads upwards. Okay, right? But however, the target that I'm looking for, the target that I'm hoping to get, okay, it's not what is in this structure, it's what is outside of this structure. All right, so outside of this structure, there's one key level that is super important, and that is this one right here, right? So I'm just going to put a little price note on it so we can see this little price point right here. So this zone right here, okay, is the last bottom, it's the lowest bottom of this particular structure right here. So if this breaks, right, price will need to break and break through this level to get to this one over here. Okay, and if done correctly, if done with precision, right, we could be looking at 1,457 pips to the downside. That is a very, very nice reward, even if you are working with extremely small lot size. I'm talking 0.1 or 0.01, depending on how your broker basically offers that up to you. All right, so this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking price is going to be breaking, and if it is breaking, this is where I think it's going to go to produce a new lower low. All right, so in my opinion, where do I think is going to happen between now and say Friday? Well, I will say this. I think price is going to be playing around in this zone. I'm still biased with the sell, but I think it's going to be playing around in this zone, right? And it may actually go up to this particular level over here, and then it may begin to break down. And the key word that I would like to tell all of you awesome Piptonites, awesome newbies who've come over to the channel for the first time is may, right? May. I'm not saying it will, I'm saying it may. There's a 50-50. It could go in the way that I hope it is going to go, and I do pray it is going to go in that way. All right, so with that all covered, okay, I want to thank you all for coming over. Don't forget to check out the other videos that you should be seeing on your screen about now. Useful content, especially the build up over the coming days, the videos that I've done, the build up over the coming days in terms of where we think the NAS is going to go. So this will actually help you follow along with the journey of the NAS analysis that I've been releasing. It will help you obviously understand what it is that we're trying to do, or what it is that I'm trying to do, okay? And you may agree with it, you may not, but either way, check them out, all right? And if you haven't done so already, you're new to the channel and you find the content useful, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like. All right, the YouTube algorithm loves all of that, and if you would, that would be fantastic. So with all of that covered, my beautiful, awesome people from around the world, I want to thank you for giving me your energy. I truly appreciate that, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be very, very soon. So for now, this is Pips and Points signing out.